Hi.
Hey guys.
I always forget to click the show on stream button.
Hang on a second. Do something.
So how's everybody doing tonight? It's so good to see everybody. Katie, MGM, Josie J, Guga and Rob, you are our very first Huddle Bunch members. We love you so much. Thank you. I love Cruising Royal. Hey, we tagged you just to let you know we're going live tonight. We would love it if you could join us. That's all it means. Magic Todd Donnelly. Oh, we're so glad you're here. Todd is the administrator to our Facebook group for the Magic Cruise that we're doing next Monday. And he is the best admin of any Facebook group, cruise group, that we have ever been on. Todd, you are amazing. We're so happy you're here. Matt M. and Cruise Nuts. Awesome. So happy you guys are all here. We have a great show tonight. Super excited about it.
Yep, we sure do. And yeah, it's we're kind of messing around with trying something new, guys. We got a different camera setup, and it has a larger lens, so I'm trying to get our lighting right. It's a little bright. That's a good problem to have, though, being too bright. I normally never struggle from being too bright.
No, I don't mind if it's too bright because it's very forgiving of the under eye wrinkles and so forth. So it blends all of the imperfections on your face, and I'm okay with that.
Well, we have got people showing up. There's 13 of you in here right now. So we want to welcome you all, as Laura said. And Todd, you guys, listen. We join every Facebook group for every cruise we go on. For all brands. It doesn't matter what ship, but of course we sail with Carnival the most. And Todd has been outstanding, just incredible. And we have been admins in several groups, and we're admins in Alaska cruise group for next year.
So we understand, you know, like how difficult it is to keep everybody engaged, and Todd is next level in the sense of, like, every time we go on a cruise, it's always tricky to know, like, when you Uber from the hotel to the cruise port, like, what terminal are you in? It doesn't always say. So, like, there's little bits and pieces of information that are missing. And sort of Todd has it all out there. Todd gave us the terminal number, the address to make sure we're going to the right terminal, like every event going on, all the little tips and details of all the things that you need to know. And cruising to Bermuda, there is so much a little bit more involved with that one.
He even put the bus schedules and it just all kinds of stuff for people that want to get off without excursions. He's doing a great job.
Oh God, so we're real happy.
Yeah, and the best thing about the guy is he is every day. Who's going to get late night pizza with me?
Really? Yeah, he's very funny.
Yeah.
So we're super happy to see him. So Brian asked, when will you be on Celebration Inaugural? That's the week of Thanksgiving, Brian. The 21st through the 20.
It's a 6 day. It's an odd one. It leaves on Monday. It comes back on Sunday. It is the week of Thanksgiving. So it's November 21st through the 27th, I believe, which is kind of odd. And
so Brian, you're going on November 6th. Are you going on like the transatlantic one? Like
he's doing. He must be doing the 14-day. Yeah, that one's November 6th to the 20th.
So you're gonna warm them all up for us, Brian.
Hey, Parker's on the go.
Hey, Parker's, we need you to be admins because Carson's still at work till about 7:30. Last week when you guys were on the cruise, the bots got us pretty good. Carson did a great job trying to keep up with
Carson was yielding a Thor's mighty hammer, and he banged Josh. He took the 6'7" giant biscuit king out, put him in a timeout for a little while because he thought he was picking on his dad. See, that's the thing.
Josh was teasing Eddie, and Carson was like, I don't know this guy. Let me put him in timeout, and put him in timeout.
He's making fun of my dad's biceps, so he got timeout. So I talked to Carson.
Hey, let's go cruising. It was so funny. He didn't know, but he knows now. So
yeah, but you know, you're not having fun until you have the best sex ever bots come into your live chat.
So this is Todd. This is Dos Equis. It's Amber Especial. Normally we just like the regular one, but they were out of it, so we went with this. And normally we don't drink during the week, but dang it, I almost said damn it. Dang it.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I might get in trouble with Michelob Ultra drinking this stuff.
You might.
but we'll see.
He might lose a sponsorship with Michelob.
I should have a sponsorship with Michelob Ultra. There's several companies I should have sponsorships with. That's one, because I've been a lot of photo opportunities with those guys. All right, so today I've been trying to raise our Instagram game, and I'm learning as I go, guys. I just it's a whole different world doing Reels versus doing YouTube, and I'm trying to blend the two together, and it's a little difficult. Now, YouTube Shorts was huge about 8 months ago. It was like the fastest growth tool you could use with YouTube. You could put a 10-second YouTube short out and get 1,000 views on that thing like that, like fast. And it is crazy because they were showing shorts to everybody. But now the YouTube short market is oversaturated with everybody doing shorts. Your shorts don't get viewed as often. So I'm not as crazy about doing YouTube shorts anymore as I was before, because they're quick and easy to put together, but they just don't.
It's pros and cons. Pros because you get the views, but cons because you're not getting watch time.
You're not getting watch time, and you're not getting views now.
Yeah.
That was one of our problems. We hit our first 100,000 views fast, really super fast, and it was largely due to YouTube Shorts. And man, if that was still going that way, we would probably have 500,000 views right now. But they clamped that down.
So
YouTube's crazy.
Let's go cruising. And asked if the beer and pig and anchor is any good. I've never had the beer and pig and anchor because I'm more of a martini / mixed drink fan. But maybe somebody else in the chat can answer that for you.
Yeah, I'm like the most boring guy in the world when it comes to beer. I usually stick with light beer. It's usually Michelob Ultra, Bud Light, something like that. If we're at a place, a microbrewery, I'll get a light lager, which is same thing. And I'm not picky.
I have to tell you, this is tasting really good tonight, so I may have converted. We'll see.
Yeah, no, she won't. She does martinis. She drinks filthy martinis with Tito's vodka, and she's like, Eddie, try it. It's delicious, and it tastes delicious. Like what I would imagine rubbing alcohol tastes like, with a hint of olive juice.
Well, if you like green olives, then a dirty martini is fantastic because it tastes like green olives, and I like green olives. So, but yeah, I like my martinis filthy. Like if you can't see through it, that's like even better for me. Now
we just last week we were talking on our live about how we want to try to get topics to attract people in addition to vloggers, because we have all the support from the vlog community, cruisers and particularly people that are interested in cruising but don't know where to start. And I call them the cruise curious. I did a reel today, and I did a short. I actually didn't do a short. I did it as a full video on YouTube because it was over a minute long. You can do 90 seconds on Reels, guys. But anyways, the goal for us ultimately is try to promote cruising because we think it's awesome, and we think it's like one of the best vacations you could take. So tonight's topic is the pros and cons of cruising. Yeah. And we're going to try to time this.
Yeah, we are.
Where we can get through some of it, and then we'll bring on how we cruise.
Yes, our special guest for tonight and Have Luggage Will Travel joined us. Hey, guys.
Hey.
So
I was talking about you.
We were. We're going to try to. We were telling about how Carson put you in timeout last week, Josh. And we were laughing about it, but
and he's running late tonight.
He's in the know now. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows that that it's all good. The only people he's supposed to boot out are the bots. Yeah, yes, that's why I was curious. Not a beer guy, but everyone has told me because it's brewed on the ship, it's a must try. I'm gonna try it. Let's go cruising. Well, I am gonna try
it. I've had the Carnival beers that they brew on dry land. I'm not sure if they brew those near Miami or if they brew them somewhere else, but the Thirsty Frog beers, and they're really good. So I would imagine that the draft beer would be good as well. So now we're going to start. I hate being negative. I hate starting with cons, but we're going to start with cons first.
I like starting with the cons because I like ending on a positive. So we're going to roll through these relatively quickly because they're pretty self-explanatory. And these are just our list. If anybody has any additional cons for this part that you would like to add in the chat, please do. For those who may watch this later and want to know what the cons of cruising are. So number one is the crowds. It can be, especially now that cruising is back, depending on the ship that you're on, the size of the ship and how the ship is laid out, it can be very crowded in some areas. Not my favorite thing. I preferred in the past, I prefer the mid-size ships more so than the big mega ships because of the crowds, but I've since rethought that because, like, for example, the Mardi Gras is extremely well laid out. It's designed for good flow through that ship. So Oasis of the Seas, we're getting ready to go on that one, but we were on Harmony of the Seas, and that was pretty much the same thing. A lot of people on those ships, but the people didn't congregate other than the buffet areas and the theater right before it opens, things like that. But the crowds can get definitely out of hand on there. So you gotta pack your patience.
Probably, and here's the thing: if you're a brand new cruiser, the first crowd that's going to really shock you is on embarkation day.
Mm-hmm.
When you're boarding, you're stuck in endless crowds. You're going through the terminal like you're being herded, at the old corral, and then obviously when you get off the ship, it's crazy trying to get off the ship.
I'll tell you,
but worst at the ports when you're waiting to get off the ship, that is a con, but any place worth going to is going to be crowded.
Yes. The one part of the crowds that got to me the most in past, now since COVID times, they've changed the muster, and it's fantastic the way they do it now. But in the old school days, like before COVID, like you would all have to stand out on the deck and you would all be like congregated like cattle and like all standing together, and it was hot and everybody was sweaty, and everybody's scents were mixing and some were better than others, and it created like this funky stew.
50 cents.
It was a funky stew going on, and I'll be honest with you, that was not my favorite part of cruising at that time.
The second thing we have is if everything's not all inclusive. So if you've never cruised before and you start booking your cruise, you get this. Oh, you got to pay for that. You got to pay for that, and you got to pay for that,
Mm-hmm.
and you got. What do you mean you got to tip? Gratuities? What? Insurance? So I need that. And then you have, oh, that restaurant looks cool. That's not included. That restaurant looks cool. That's not included. And the excursions are not included. So the not all inclusive is a con.
Mike's making me laugh in the chat. Funky stew, laugh out loud, yum. Yeah. So again, there's a lot that's not included. Number 3, the food can get repetitive and overwhelming. And I can't believe I'm saying that to you, but I swear to you, it's true. Like if you cruise the same cruise line, frequently, sometimes the menus are the same over and over again, day 1, day 2, day 3. And so it can get repetitive. And then like on Royal Caribbean, there's been times where I have stood in the marketplace and just like stood there, and there's just like so much food everywhere, and I just stood there and I'm like, I don't even know where to begin. Like it overwhelms me sometimes. So it can be repetitive and overwhelming, and that is the stupidest thing to complain about and a good problem to have. Well, but it can be a con.
But in fairness, most people aren't cruising as often as we do. So you can't blame Carnival that they keep their menu the same for years at a time, because the average person's probably only cruising once to twice a year on Carnival.
True.
I think last year we did 7 Carnival cruises in like 7 months.
Yeah. So, true.
So we have the menu memorized.
Yeah, but you don't have to order the same thing every day on day one either. And I get in a bad habit because I liked that, so I'm gonna have it again. And then I still liked that, so a lot of it's my own fault.
But again, the repetitive food thing that happens as you get going, right? Not in the beginning.
True, Matt. That's what Guys Burgers and Blue Iguana are for. Amen.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Amen. And then 4 is weight gain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they say on average, the average person gains 1 pound for every day they're on a cruise. That is mostly going to be water because a lot of us are going to be consuming more carbohydrates than we normally do, more alcohol than we normally do. We're getting ready.
Yes, we are getting ready.
Yeah, getting ready. We have 4 days until we start drinking. That's in New York. But anyways, you're eating more carbohydrates, you're eating more sugar, and then there's something about being out at sea. I don't know if it's a scientific thing.
I think you absorb the salt water.
There's something to it because you retain water, and you'll swell up. But anyways, weight gain, but don't let that stop you. Don't let
you know what? I swear to you, like 4 or 5 days after the cruise, I'm down 5 pounds just from being home. I do have to work a little bit to get that because I gain like 10, 12 pounds every time.
I've literally lost like 10 pounds.
I've lost 10
days.
pounds in 3 days after we get home.
So
we've done that. We actually pay attention to that, and it happens every time. So we just worry about it later and just try to maintain. This guy can lose weight like nobody else, but me, I seem to stick at the same weight, and it's not easy. So the next one is additional costs can add up. Man, listen, every little thing adds up. If you buy something in the store, or if you do specialty dining, or just pay attention to your account every day.
Man, you're funny, buddy.
Brian, you drink all that water, Brian. That'll help you.
There you go.
So
just the water, buddy.
Look on your account every day and pay attention because additional costs. Like if you tip a lot, we tip a lot. So just our tips alone will definitely add up.
Yeah, we actually will load our sign and sale card with cash before we get on board to help absorb all of our tipping and stuff like that, and our gambling. So that's the other aspect. All right. Spotty internet, and some of you guys here love the internet because you're on it right now. But a lot of people, they have an issue and they go, man, you need to disconnect from the interwebs. You're on a vacation. They do all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. When I told you guys this before, but when I'm working on the cruise ship, which is why I'm able to take so many cruises because I have to work, I'll be sitting there like in the Red Frog pub or out in a local, when
it's closed, when it's like in the middle of the morning.
In the morning when people aren't normally there or whatever.
They're not even open.
I'll be sitting there working, and people will like walk up and like close my laptop and be like, "You shouldn't be working. You're on vacation." And it takes everything I have not to, give them the one finger salute or say something nasty like, "Why don't you mind you and I'll mind me?" But I don't do that.
They don't touch my laptop.
I just look at them and go, "Well, I'm able to cruise because I can work while I'm cruising." So at 5 o'clock, I'm on a cruise.
Again, it's
I don't. It's annoying because I have.
There's
to
a lot of us.
myself.
There's a lot of us that need the internet while we're at sea. You need it to keep tabs on your house. You might have kids at home. You might have elderly parents that live with you like we do, and you watch them in the blink alarm system yelling at the dogs out in the backyard. Get in here, you idiots! We get to watch that at sea because of Wi-Fi.
It's fantastic.
But the problem with the internet, and our buddy, what's his face, the Tesla guy, he's trying to fix it.
Yeah.
The astronaut on land. Anyways, Spotty, Elon Musk, Spotty internet. So
hopefully that'll be fixed.
This is no one's fault.
Yeah.
It's just how it works.
Right.
Now, I did a news story earlier this week where Carnival came out and said they're going to partner with more satellite companies to extend the range of their service at sea. Because there are parts of the ocean when you're in there, you're not going to get hardly any signal or no signal. And it's not uncommon for that to happen. So spotty internet can be an issue. And if you have to, you're doing a term paper, you're working on your thesis, you got, your master's degree, you're working on stuff.
You're gonna have to, again, you're gonna have to pay your patience.
You're gambling.
It will work.
You're gambling.
But you're just gonna have to sit there and hit submit
And
like 42 times.
Older
sometimes.
ships have slower internet.
So if it's a work trip, I save those for the newer ships, and if I'm gonna take time off, like completely disconnect, then I will use that time, my vacation time, when I'm on an older ship, because I don't want to worry about the internet. Sorry, we're back. We broke out in a family sing-along. Video or it didn't happen. We need to see that. All right, so we're going to try to blow through these because we're
going to get through the
big
cons.
shocker. We'll stop after the cons, and then we'll get to the pros after.
After bringing in how we cruise.
All right, sounds
Here goes
good.
7.
All right, so number 7, port itinerary time limits. So, you're at this amazing port, but, you're there for, from 12 to 4 or 12 to 6 or 9 to 5. Like, there's time limits on how long you're there. So, depending on how much time you have at that port, you may or may not have time to do everything that you want to do. So, that's
all right. And 8 is destinations can be overly touristy. Well, we're all tourists, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is a big con to that. When you go to any heavily traffic tourist area, you are in a situation where you're going to attract more criminals, more beggars, more trouble, and there's issues that come with that. And then it's the prices of everything are jacked up. It's basic economics, guys, that we were ignoring back like in high school. At work, once again, you have more demand and you have a lower supply, you're going to pay higher prices, and that's what happens, and they price gouge you,
Mm-hmm.
And our tip is, don't ever if you're going to buy souvenirs when you're in any port, don't pull your money out in front of, act like you're in Detroit.
Yes.
Never count your money in public. Don't make eye contact with strangers, and run if someone's chasing you.
Know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
But
don't count your money.
For real, don't go in there and pull money out, because they see you have a lot of cash. They're going to be less likely to negotiate with you.
And be careful what you say.
Yeah.
Like we were when you're shopping for a certain item.
Don't tell them what you're
Don't
looking
tell
for.
them what you're looking for, because then they're going to know that you're specifically shopping for that, and they're going to hike the price up on you.
Yeah.
Like pretend like you accidentally found it, and then you can barter it down a little bit. I'm really good at that.
But
I love that.
The
part
big
of
thing is you have to be aware when you're in any area like that. And I'm talking about any area. If you're in Nashville, you're in Chicago, you're in Washington, D.C., been to all these places, and they all have the same element. There's criminals that take advantage of people and large crowds that have big eyes looking around at everything, and you scream, "I'm new here," and they will distract you with different techniques and tactics.
Yep.
And rob you blind, and you won't even know it until later, and you'll be, "Look, that guy stole from me." All right.
The last one is, hey, cruising is fun anytime. The last one is itinerary changes. You book a cruise. Some people book a cruise for the ship because they love, the ship. Some people, book the cruise for the itinerary, and some people book a cruise for a blend of both. But if you're a big itinerary person, you need to read the fine print of your cruise agreement when you're booking a cruise, because they can change the itinerary due to, it's been doing that the whole time. They can change your itinerary based on weather, based on, during COVID, it was, yes, you can go to this port, now you can't. One day you can, one day you can't. They could change it for a million different reasons. And basically, they don't have to refund your money. They can switch that.
They're not going to refund.
They're not. They're
you agree to that.
Yeah, you agree to that.
In the cruise contract.
Right. So just read the fine print. Be flexible. If you want a certain itinerary and it changes, just try to roll with it and book it again.
Yeah,
it sucks, but
it's just another reason to book another cruise.
Exactly.
Like when we did the Mexican Riviera, one of our ports was closed due to tropical storm. Be quiet. Pam.
Yep.
And Pam.
Damn Pam.
And we didn't go to, where did we not go? Mazatlan?
It was Mazatlan. Yeah, we didn't go there.
And so we didn't get to go there. But
so
now
we're going back.
We're going back.
So there you go. There's a pro to that con.
Yeah, and you just don't let that wreck your vacation, guys. If they don't go to one of your ports, or they short your port, because hey, We got azopod problems,
Right.
propulsion issues,
Yeah.
top speed issues. We've been through all that.
Oh yeah. So if you're aware that that is, something that can happen, and you're aware that it's a possibility, I feel like it is easier to handle when it happens to you because.
They're right underneath us. How to get to it?
All right. Let me see.
They're underneath. See
Okay.
this?
Yep.
That red hat is.
All right. I have to. Oh, here you go. See that little line right there?
Get it.
There we go.
All right. Here we go,
All right,
guys.
so we are going to bring in the one, the only, Howie Cruz. If I can do this. Hi.
Oh, we gotta.
Oh, hold on. We're gonna try to move you around here a little bit. So do that. Oh, there you go.
Oh, look at that technology.
Yeah.
You're like a pro.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Great. Excuse me.
Is that Mike?
Yeah, put her head on.
All right.
All right. I don't know if you guys can see that. You're at the captain's table.
And I am.
She's
First
first
mate.
mate. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
We may have a couple crew hats. We'll leave it at that right now. So how you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Doing
We're
good.
doing really good.
We're
Yeah.
super excited to have you guys on. We think you guys are amazing.
Glad to be here. Thank
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. This is an honor.
you. You gave us a date night, so we were able to get the kids off to grandma's. So you won't hear them in the background.
Grandma lives with us, and I told her that last night. I said, she goes, aren't they the people with all the kids? I go, yeah, they're having their kids go to their grandma's house.
We
Hint, hint, hint.
we've watched a lot of your vlogs. So my mother-in-law, his mom, she knows who all you guys are.
Yeah, we sit in the living room, and we have
Well, we're both
the
grateful,
25 inch
and
TV,
I apologize.
we watch the YouTube on the big TV in the living room, and she sits there and watches with us.
She does.
She's actually going on the vlogger extravaganza with
Mhm.
us.
She's really excited to meet J&D and gosh, really everybody.
Yeah, Sharon at Sea.
Yeah.
And she's hoping she gets to meet all of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So, any additions to cruise cons? You kind of heard the conversation at the beginning.
Yeah,
Anything?
I was listening. I was jotting things down actually as you were talking. I totally agree and have to I'll piggyback off of what you said. Is that you? You have the thing on. I think your volume's on. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, you have to totally go with the flow. Things go wrong all the time. Things go wrong every single time we travel, without a doubt. And if you don't roll with it, then you're paying for a trip, you're paying for a vacation, you're paying for an experience, and it is what you make of it. So you can either wallow in the things that go wrong, or you can just keep going with them. So
Yeah.
that I'll say. What other?
Do you guys agree with the old school funky stew of the when we all used to have to stand out there for the muster and everybody was like sweating and like everybody like smell everybody?
Yes, I remember that.
And no offense, because I'm sure none of us smell good when we're sweating, but I would just be standing there and you hadn't eaten anything all day yet, and you're just like
Couldn't have a
sweating.
drink. They wouldn't
It was
allow you to
not
bring a drink with
happening.
you. You weren't allowed to do it.
We still have that picture from our
And-
Pride of America cruise
Oh.
with the.
The life jacket just smelled so bad. And
Yeah.
wearing them, and you're standing there and just into the sweat, and you're just waiting to get your cruise on. So if there is any kind of silver lining from everything that's gone on in the past few years, it is not having to stand in the crowds with those
Yes,
dirty life jackets on anymore.
totally a positive that came out of I didn't put it on the Cruise Pros, but it should be on there.
Yeah.
Definitely an upgrade.
I like
So-
to say that one of the only good things that come from COVID-19 is the e-muster.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's awesome. Now
And
you
people
guys,
still can't get it right.
Oh, I
Every
know.
cruise we've been on, they're still making announcements over
Yeah.
and
Every cruise.
you know, they get on the ship and they just get so excited that they're like little kids. You know, it brings out the kid in you. So I understand it, I feel it, but I'm also OCD, so I gotta dot those I's and cross those T's.
I think one of two things. Either A, it's so easy. They're like, okay, I'll get it done. Leave me alone. I'm on my way. or it's their first time cruising and they just don't know what that is even. So I'm going to go with B because it's too easy to excuse away, you know?
Yeah.
But it is crazy. I'm afraid they're going to do away with the e-muster because of those knuckleheads, you know. But what all you can do is just do your part and hope other people do too. So, yeah.
I
Any other
think
cons
a
that you
lot of
guys
the things that have changed are like now kind of ingrained in people. So I think if they change them again, people will be like, "Oh, I don't want to do that."
Yeah.
It's easier on the cruise. It's easier on the cruise line too, because if you remember now, you're savvy veterans. I'm still kind of a newbie cruiser, guys, because I did my first cruise in 2017, and then we were cruising across the country, going to land vacations like crazy. Then we did Harmony of the Seas in 2019. And then we had cruises booked in 20 that got canceled because of COVID. So I've only done standard muster twice. And so in both cases, one was on an old ship, the Mayflower, the Enchantment of the Seas. And I thought that was the best thing ever. And it was the only one that
It was so funny because Enchantment of the Seas was his very first cruise. And we took all of our kids, our whole family. A lot of them had never been on a cruise before, and that's like not one of the nice ships at all. It's older, and I was embarrassed, if I'm being honest. Like I didn't say nothing, but I've been on the new nice ships.
It was before it was refurbished.
Yeah, it was before it was refurbished.
This isn't my ship. This is just so you're aware. Like my ship is much nicer.
We were talking
about
ships, and I
mean,
every ship
the family had a great time. Like no one complained or anything.
We thought it was awesome.
Hey, Armstrong. Yeah. So I mean, I just learned, shut your mouth.
That e-muster on that ship was bad, but the one on Harmony of the Seas was even worse because it was at full capacity, which was over 6,000 people on that ship. So it was crazy. And so I went on a tiny ship, and then I went on that monstrosity, and I actually didn't like it. When it was good, I liked it, but I would have preferred the older small ship just because the big ship was so overwhelming that we would forget that we were on a cruise ship. It felt like you were sitting in a mall somewhere, and that what's it called? The promenade.
We had that conversation earlier today with friends, and we were talking about the difference because they've done the mega ships, the Oasis class ships, but they haven't done the smaller ships. And we were trying to explain, listen, you have to understand there's a definite difference. I won't even go into pros or cons. I think I appreciate them both for what they are, but they're different, and you have to know that. You have to know that before you go on a cruise.
My opinion now is different because now I've cruised a lot. So now I understand that you can't get sucked in those places on the Oasis class ships that keep you away from the water. You have to be you have to go places where you see the water. Places that have windows, not the Irish pub. We were living in the Irish pub. I thought I was in Boston. Yeah, we have a bad habit of like finding the bar on the ship that we like, and we camp out there. It becomes our home base. We go there over hours.
We have so much fun people watching, and there's always something going on. So we just get comfortable, and then that's the one thing that I liked about Carnival was that no matter where you are, there's windows and you see outside. And on Royal, you get stuck in that big, huge promenade area. And although it's beautiful,
the Royal ships are more into the views and the windows. So
but it's cool.
Can I add to your pro and con list? Then I think a pro and con too of like we've talked about before. If you go on an Oasis class ship or a mega ship, and even some of the other lines, if you go onto these really huge ships. There's a pro that there's so much to do, but there is the con of do not go in there with the expectation that you'll be able to do it all. You're going to walk out of there and go, I wanted to do X, Y, or Z, and I didn't get to. So I think it's part of the pull into them too. They want you to come back and they want you to do it again so that way you can experience it. So that's both a pro and a con.
That is such a great point because even on a 7-day cruise, like you're never going to get to everything. No. You're just never going to. Not on one cruise.
That was part of my disappointment with Harmony was there was so much on the ship that we didn't get to even see it all. And then afterwards, I kept thinking back, man, and there was things you wanted to do, and it's too windy, and you can't do this today, and that's closed right now. I wanted to do everything, the zip line, the rock wall. I was trying to get it all, and every time I'd go to do one of those things, it was closed. And that's like on every cruise ship. But
that happened on Oasis with us. The kids wanted to go ice skating, so we they said we're going to open it up. So it was only ice skating 2 out of the 7 days, because 5 of the other days they used Studio B for laser tag or other events, things like that. So there were two options to ice skate, and if you didn't get down there and get in line and get one of those little tickets, you weren't ice skating.
No, yeah, that's a good point.
And now, as far as we didn't get to the pros yet.
You guys want to hang out through some pros with us?
Yeah,
we're here.
We're good.
We're gonna hit the pros real quick. Or should we do their interview first?
No, let's do the pros and then we'll get to our interview questions.
All
right. So number 1 on our cruise pro list is it's easy to see many destinations. Right. You're on a floating hotel, and you're just going to multiple destinations. So in that aspect of it, like, it's amazing because, you wake up and you're someplace new and you didn't have to drive anywhere or fly anywhere. Every day is something new,
And then 2, we got you only unpack one time. So you're not going to be packing and unpacking like we're going to be doing this weekend. We go to New York, we'll semi-unpack because we're there 2 nights, and then we got to pack that stuff up and then, go to the cruise terminal. So that's another pro for cruising.
Mm-hmm. Number 3 was affordability. I mean, it can be as expensive and bougie as you want it to be, or it can be as economic as you want it to be. You can build your own vacation based on the budget that you have, and have an equally good time.
And then we got 4 is easy, convenient, and relaxing. That's Max. That's Mila.
Yeah.
And it's all those things. It can also be action-packed and just, super fun. You're being super active the entire time. So you're in control of your own vacation. You want to chill and just sit on a lounger in the shade or in the sun and read a book and take naps all day. You can do that, drinking margaritas, or you can, get off and do those crazy excursions, parasail and swim with the sharks.
It can be pretty much whatever you want it to be. Number 5 was unlimited food and drinks to a certain extent, depending on what beverage package you have. If you want to be, cost effective, then you can stick to the included beverages, which, in all honesty, I mean, I've never done it, but it doesn't seem like it would be a deal breaker to me.
Well, and the thing too is, like, when you're comparing a cruise to a land vacation, unless you're going to an all-inclusive resort, you're going to be paying a ton of money for meals. Mm-hmm. That eating out while you're on vacation, that adds up. We did a trip to Vegas during the pandemic because Nevada's numbers were super low for COVID, and we
spent
crazy.
A small fortune.
Yeah, we spent like $4,000 in 4 days there, and we didn't gamble a whole lot. It was crazy.
We spent it was very expensive, but we had a great time. So no regrets. None.
No regrets.
No regrets. All right. Number 6, you can do some tax and duty-free shopping. So that's cool.
And then 7, the people, the crew, and the fellow passengers. You make lots of friends on cruise ships if you're friendly, and the cruise, just you're not going to get service like that anywhere on dry land. And it's an experience in itself.
I fell in love with the crew members to the point where I actually feel hurt in my little heart that I don't know if I'm ever going to see them again, and it makes me really sad. Like, I feel really sad when I say goodbye to them. I know they're like bye every 7 days, so I know it doesn't mean as much to them, but me, I walk away with my little broken heart because I'm going to miss them.
When we left Harmony, our kids
we're dog setting.
Our waiters.
Say that again, Brian.
When we were leaving Harmony of the Seas on our last night, the kids were hugging our waiters. They're like, "Do you think they'll be working breakfast? Can we go see them one more time?"
It does it. It's it breaks my heart. I really, truly, I fall in love with them, and I love to hear about their families, and it's just and the fellow passengers too. We've met every cruise we've been on. We've made friends. And people that were connected through social media, and it's amazing. Shut that. So
Cruisers are so cool.
Sorry, dogs. The dogs are fighting.
Really awesome.
Yeah, we're dog sitting. Yeah, and the other thing too that we like about that, staying with her theme, well, my theme, the people, the crew, and the fellow passengers, is there's no politics. There's no one arguing about anything. There's no secret plots to overthrow this or that. There's none of that stuff. Everybody is just friendly, happy, glad to be cruising, and you meet people from all over the place. And it's really, for us, we meet people from like Texas, and they're like, "Hey, buddy, where are you from? You sound like you're Canada. You're from Canada?" And it's like, no, and or they would think we're from Minnesota. We'll tell them we're from Detroit, and they'll be like, "Well, you're really cool from being from Detroit." I'm like, "What are you saying, man? The hell, of course we're cool. We're from Detroit."
People are cool in Detroit.
But anyways, that's we'll get that, and it'll be their surprise because they think we're everybody up north a bunch of jerks or something. So you
People
get there.
What we say we're from Jersey.
Us?
Yeah. And that's what you get.
Are you
right?
talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, you have to admit there's a bit of a difference. Like, I lived in the South for probably a good 7 to 10 years of my adult life. And the people in the South have a kinder way of saying things. Midwesterners, Northern people, like we just say it like it is.
Yeah, and we talk real fast.
Excuse me, and not having a Southern accent.
Yeah, you're South Jersey, man.
I can normally I can't read the comments and
Right.
They tell me all the time I talk funny. Man, you talk funny.
The first time I pulled up to Chick-fil-A when I moved to Alabama, I placed my order and they're like, I heard them giggling. They're like, "Can you repeat that, please?" I'm like, "I know why you're having me repeat that." And I'm all right with it because I would laugh at me too. So it's all good.
And then
you
can work on a cruise ship.
Sorry, Eddie, go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
no, not at all. So number 8, you can work on a cruise ship if you're a remote employee. I do it all the time. I get 4 weeks of vacation per year, which would be 4 cruises, and we do 8 to 10 cruises, and that's because I work on half of them. I work from 9 to 5, and then at 5 o'clock, I'm on a cruise ship. And it's not that bad doing my job when I'm looking at turquoise water. It doesn't suck.
Yeah.
So I'm all right with it.
And we've covered this before, but I get 5 weeks vacation, but I get to work all the holidays, and I get to convert paid holidays into vacation days. So instead of taking that extra pay for that day, I bank it into a vacation day. The bad thing about it is I got to work basically every single holiday except for Christmas Day.
And he's not
New
allowed
Year's
to get
Day,
sick ever.
And Easter. I can't get sick.
Nope.
Yeah, so
Can't have
we don't get sick days. So that's how we pull it off. So
Do you guys ever work? Or do your jobs allow you to work on the cruise ship, or do you check in at home, or do you completely disconnect?
No, we're off.
Good.
Got,
Well, that's great.
So
That's
I
great.
don't even know if people know what I do. I don't know. I don't think I've ever really said. Anyway, I'm an occupational therapist. So I have worked in different areas and different arenas, and I was in the school district. I do early intervention. I've done private. So my job is a little bit flexible. This year, ever since we started the vlogging stuff and the cruise and the travel stuff, I've adjusted things up. So I have a lot more flexibility in my schedure.
That's awesome.
I can make it work for me, and which is really helping because we love doing this. But I love I love my career as an OT too. So, Brian, you
That's
work
awesome.
Now we got to be in the office.
Yeah, you got to be in the office, or you got to.
Yeah.
So when you're off, but when you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
It definitely helps me to. I have a tough job, so it's 24/7. So it helps to be able to have that convenience for me to stick with it as long as I'll need to before I can retire. So the flexibility is definitely something that keeps me engaged. As long as I'm going to need to be engaged in this job to retire. Can't wait to retire.
We were talking about it today. I'm already figuring what can I do when I'm done with this job in 5 years that I can do from a cruise ship, and we're definitely.
Well, I'll tell you what. Stick with the vlogging, and it can definitely supplement incomes if you stick with it. And everybody on this live tonight has incredible content. It's the longevity. It's a lot of work. how long can we keep doing this and putting the effort in and being creative and, learning and growing and sticking with it. It can definitely supplement retirement income. So let's all do it. I'm all for it. All right. So number 9
is tons of activities for all ages. There's something on a cruise ship for everybody.
I mean, if you don't want to do anything, you can. If you want to be really active, you can. I mean, there's games and there's, music and just on and
There's
on and
something for
on.
everybody.
There's something for everybody. If you're bored on a cruise ship, you're just, to me, you're one of those people you just can't make happy because there's really, truly something for everyone on there. The next one, number 10, is it's easier to plan your day on your agenda for the day on a cruise ship because you kind of know what's going to happen, the next day, the day before. And it's easier to, like, if you might have ideas of what you think you want to do, but then you can go with the flow or whatever your mood is that day when you actually wake up and still have an amazing day. Like, you don't have to be rigid in structured on a cruise, but you can be if you want to be. So if you wake up and you're not feeling the best, you can just go with the flow, or you can, have your day all planned out, whatever makes you happy.
Say you take a vacation to, some U.S. city, fill in the blank, and you're going to stay there for 5 days. You're going to be looking to fill your own itinerary every day with activities. Mm-hmm. Whereas on a cruise ship, you have a whole list of things you can pick from each day, and just, they do the planning for you. You just pick and choose. That makes it a lot easier.
So in 11, we kind of touched upon this a little bit. There's literally something for everyone, and that's true. I have never met anybody that came off of a cruise and was like, they had nothing for me. Like, there was like nothing. Like, I've never heard that from anybody.
And then the final one is each cruise line offers different experiences and different variety. So, you have your Disney cruises, and then you have your Virgin voyages and everything in between.
So, there's certain people that, like really like high-end things. Like, they have the high-end cruise lines, like the Celebrities and the Princess. And, if you want the more bougie experience, you can go for that. If you want, a more family-oriented, you can do Royal and Disney or Carnival. And you can have that experience.
Or you can go into Poorhouse and go on Viking.
You can go on, yeah. Or
Viking.
if you want a completely adult only experience, you could do Virgin. I mean, whatever you're in the mood for.
I love that you said that, Laura. I love that. We talk about that all the time. If you're going to cruise, like, there's something for you, but find your fit. Like, if you're complaining about kids running around or our kids yelling through the walls, you probably shouldn't go on Royal or Carnival. Like, you probably should find your Celebrity or your Holland or, Princess.
We see that.
It's an itinerary that fits you.
We see that on the Carnival VIFP page a lot, the Facebook page. I don't know if you're on there, but people,
we're there.
People complain about kids all the time, and normal me would be on there saying stuff, but now that I'm a vlogger, I'm really careful what I'll say out there because I don't want it to come back and hurt the channel. But people are like so rude about children. They deserve to have vacation and fun too. And you hit the nail on the head, Julie. If you don't like children, and you don't like, families, then go on Virgin.
Well,
there's something for you out there. You don't have to go on that ship.
Or don't go into.
So pick what you want.
Don't go into summer.
Yeah.
Don't go into summer, and don't go during school
Spring
breaks.
break,
during Christmas break when kids are off, because that's when families are going to be cruising. So
that's exactly us. We cruised over spring break week. We cruised over Christmas break, and then we cruised as soon as the kids got out of school.
Yeah, we cruised over spring break, and we were on a Celebrity cruise. There was kids on that ship. It wasn't overrunning with kids, but there was kids on that ship.
Yeah.
But my number one reason for why I like cruising and prefer it over everything else is I want to see as much of the world as I can before I'm dead. So you visit the most countries and most, exotic places doing cruise ships. You can basically do 2-3 vacations in one by hitting 3 different countries on one ship. So that's what I like about it. And I would be happy on the SS Minnow as long as they have Michelob Ultra. That's I mean, and burgers.
70% of the world's covered with water. So if you don't get on a cruise ship, you're missing 70% of it.
Yeah, that's it.
So
man.
Cruise Nuts said they like our hats. So lean forward. He's captain and I'm first mate. And we have a couple of crew hats. Those are coming in a future vlog.
Well, we have the hats. We don't have the heads to put in them tonight. So that's the problem. All right. So now we're going to get to the interview portion of this. And I know we can go on all night about everything we love about cruising, right? We all have an addiction. This should be a 12-step program. Hi, my name is Eddie, and I'm addicted. I'm addicted to cruising.
All right, well, before we hop into that, Josh speaking, I got into a kid on the Dream for cussing at Philip about his suit he had on. Kid was giving him a compliment and cussing. Really?
Yeah. I tell you what, we've been super proud of our kids the last cruises we took them on. They love the formal nights. We're packing for the cruise, and they're like, "Mom, Dad, where's my suit? Where's my dress?" Katie's got her sparkly dresses that she loves, and they sit nice in the dining room. And there were other kids we saw that could use a little manners lesson. But I think most of the kids we saw on the ship were behaving.
I will never get upset for a kid having fun, running around, doing what kids
No.
do. You know what? Yeah,
You guys look great. I seen your formal night pictures of your family, and you guys, they're all decked out. You've got the best looking family out there.
Yes.
On the 7 Seas.
Yeah.
The kids are dressed up nice.
I've never seen kids doing anything that somebody truly needed to intervene on. Like, I don't know, turning on the ice cream machine and walking. Like, I've never seen anybody do anything like.
I'm sure it happens.
I'm sure it does, but
I haven't seen it either. And if I did, it takes a village, people. I think I would say something, but I would say it appropriately too. I mean, you're gonna say, like, "Come on, guys! Like, this is not."
Either that, or I'd walk over and turn off the ice cream machine. You know what I mean?
That's turning into a meeting.
Not my problem.
You cannot expect those crew members to go and say a harsh word to anybody. They're not allowed to do that. They can't come and crack down on your kids.
Because if somebody puts their name in a negative light on that survey, they don't get a pay raise.
Well, they'll lock them in a hole for the rest of the cruise.
Yeah.
If my kids are on a cruise ship and they do something that not a kid thing, but is just truly not what we should be doing.
Yeah.
They're turning on the ice cream machine and walking away, or they're cussing out other people, or whatever it is. If they ever do that, I would please ask you to step in and help and say that is not appropriate behavior. We're not approving of that, and I'm asking the world out there to.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think my kids would do that, but I will never be the one that says not my kids.
Eddie, you were a coach for a lot of years. I coached my kids soccer, hockey, so I'm all for it. If I discipline other people's kids all the time if I have to. So
hey, listen, I used to take a dozen 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds on tournaments where we'd go out of state, and I'd have those guys in the hotels that they would start acting wild. I'd be like, "Hey, that's not how we act. Get it together, straighten up," and they would straighten right up, and it's just some parents are. It's not the kids that suck; it's the parents. The parents suck. And they're the ones that allow the kids to run wild, and it's their fault. But we love kids. That's why we have a half dozen of them.
Yeah, and if I were to ever say anything, I would always be like, "Hey," I'd be very kind about it. Like, "Hey, that's probably the smartest thing to do right now." You know what I mean? Yeah.
What would your parents think if they saw you doing that right now?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So Lito's Thomas, right? Thomas said, "I've seen knock and dash, but that's harmless fun. But I also watch kids crushing ice cream cones." Oh, yeah, that's inappropriate.
Thomas, I think you did knock and dash on Trevor's door.
I think that might happen.
I think you were doing that, but I can't see you dashing. No offense.
I really the ice cream cones. That's tough because
knocking, walking.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But they're kids, man. So someone has to, you ever read the book, Lord of the Flies? Someone has to get in there and, lay down the law or it gets out of hand. That's how you get those guys in black uniforms running around locking people up. I'm just joking. That doesn't happen, but it can happen. But all right, we got to get to our interview questions here.
Sorry.
All right, so you both work full time. You have a beautiful family. And, us, we're vloggers too, so we understand the time and the commitment it takes to do this and to do it well. And how do you guys have time for vlogging? Like, how do you make it work?
There is no time.
There's no. Well, there's a little thing that some people like to do that we've just kind of given up on. Who in the chat? Let us know if you sleep, because we'd really like to know what it's like, because we don't do that anymore. We used to before we had kids, and I've been told that one day we'll be allowed to do it again. And I'm really looking forward to that day. But yeah, no, it's.
Well, you sleep more than I do. Yeah, there is no time. And like I said, I have adjusted my work and things to kind of work for things, but lots and lots and lots of late nights. But when you, and I don't mean stuff, like when you do what you love, like it's not work. It really is easy. So I absolutely love going through our content, and we love filming, and we love putting it together. And the whole story of how that even started, it's all due to our kids. This was not a plan. Like this was, I think we'll get there in our story with you guys. But ultimately, we absolutely love what we're doing, and we're doing it because it just happened and it just unfolded. So, I mean,
vloggers by accident.
Yeah. Tell us about that. How did that happen?
Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to make the abbreviated version. You know, we had Oasis of the Seas scheduled, and then the pandemic happened. So it got canceled. But we were trying to hype our kids up even before it happened. We introduced them to YouTube on the big TV in the living room, and we would sit down, and every night as a family, we would watch cruise videos. And, you know, we were watching all the people that you all are watching, and the kids were super excited, and they would start saying, why can't we do this? We want a channel. And me and Brian were like, absolutely not. No way. Are you crazy? We're not putting you out on YouTube. We'll get there. So anyway, things keep getting canceled. We had a whole cruise night at our house. We'll have to share those pictures and stuff on our Facebook page.
Oh yeah,
but we had a whole cruise night during the pandemic where we had a whole lobster night, and everybody got dressed up. And my parents that were going to go on a cruise, they came over. So you know, everybody's hyped up, and we're just waiting and waiting, waiting. And ultimately, we were lucky enough to be able to go on to a test sailing when cruising started to reopen, and they wanted people to test how their protocols were going on the ships.
So if you go back in your memory when cruising first restarted, they had Royal Caribbean. Each line had their choice what to do, and Royal Caribbean decided that they were going to allow a certain percentage of unvaccinated passengers. So they had to comply with the CDC protocols, and the way they did that was through volunteers. So I came home late from work one night. Jewel was asleep on the couch, and I registered.
I'm dead to the world on the couch.
Registered to be a volunteer, and got an email.
He woke me up. You're like, Jewel, you have to go on and you have to submit this. And he submitted. You were allowed to submit like 10 times.
12 times.
You submitted the max. I think I submitted twice because I'm like, I can't believe you have me doing this at 1 o'clock in the morning. But
we got.
We won. We got it.
Wow.
So we went down to Galveston, and
without the kids, who are now devastated because they were excited to go on a cruise, and now mom and dad are going without them. So we're like, okay, guys, we're gonna vlog it. We'll vlog it for you. We're gonna record it. We'll send it.
But there was not a lot of information at the time. So one of the things we found out at the time was Royal Caribbean was super responsive to their Facebook messages. So I was talking to them like,
you're telling the whole story.
Oh yeah,
you're telling the whole story.
So.
I mean, not that there's anything, whatever.
Listen,
but
did they cut us off at any point? I don't know. I'll talk all night. But they, we got to beat Have Luggage Will Travel's marathon live. So,
yes, we do.
But so they sent us some message. They're like, "Oh, we're so sorry. We didn't realize you were social media influencers." And I'm like, "I'm 40-something years old. What's a
they checked you out."
So I messaged her, and she started all this up, and
within a day,
2 or 3
all
hours.
of a sudden, we were like vloggers on a cruise and recording. And I'm like, okay, we got to put these videos together. We were trying to figure out the log. If you look back through our files, you can see the first live that we ever tried to do in Galveston, which was hilarious.
It was terrible. Please don't judge us off.
I give you so much credit for that. Like, going live was our biggest fear. Siobhan really inspired us. She kept saying, "Come on, you got to do it. You got to do it." And I'm like, I don't know, man. Nobody's going to show up. Like, it'll be our 6 kids and our moms. Like, I don't know.
They can come listen to us.
We didn't know. we learned everything. Everything we know about vlogging, we learned from everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so thank you. So
Thank you to everyone.
we do
Hey,
what we
funnelheads.
do because we saw you do it, and we're just trying to do what you do. And
Yeah. We learn from each other all the time.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
I've learned from everybody in here too. We've learned from everybody. Everybody learns from everybody. That's the beauty of it.
we
Yeah.
have no problem reaching out and asking questions too. We've asked people what camera are you using, what mic are you using,
Yeah.
what editing things you use. But yeah, so it started there, and then we ultimately did get to go on to our onto a couple other cruises. We actually booked extra ones because we wanted to go so bad, and we got some great deals, and we just kept doing it. And every single day we learned something new. Every single day we learned another tip or a trick or strategy to because we're having fun, and we're like, this is just fun and this is cool. So we're just riding the wave.
Well, yeah,
we're riding the wave.
You got all the vlogs up from Harmony of the Seas, and I remember you going. You was looking at me. She's like, I'm out of content, and I'm like, okay, well, so what do we do? She's like, well, we got to go on another cruise. All right, so
We sure do.
All right, let's do it. So we found a way to get on the spring break cruise on the Carnival Magic, and that was the kids loved that one. You got Bry's reviews of Guy's Burger Bar there that we came up with that. So he wants to have his little space in the channel with that. So.
But the time that I have off in the summer times right now. I am working just very minimally right now. So, and ultimately, I don't even have enough time. I think I had more time when I was going to work every day and coming home and vlogging all night. Or editing videos all night.
So do one of you do the editing, or do both of you edit?
Julie does, I think, 90 to 99% of it.
99.9.
I
ask you to review it.
I have some stuff that you've told me to do on my own, because I have a whole other series of videos that have not made it up yet with this quick little cruise tips. But
I have ideas. I'm always sharing, and I'm the cruise news finder, and I find all the cruise news hopefully before anyone else and get it over to him. I help edit and critique verbally, but I'm not a techie person, so Eddie does all of that.
Yes, that's true. Julie does do all the editing. She does all of it. So I'll come home from work and I'll be like, "Hey, how was your day?" She'll be like, "Shh."
I'm angry. I'm like, I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah, I can't talk to him for 3 hours when he's uploading vlogs. I already know he'll be like, I'm getting ready to do a cruise news segment.
Well, because I use my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I use my phone for most everything. I've spent thousands of dollars on different cameras and different setups and all kinds of stuff. I got stuff I've never used. I've got stuff I've used once. And I just keep going to what is quick and easy and works, and just keep it simple, stupid. That's my philosophy. So she'll be calling me. I'll be at work on my lunch, and I'll be trying to render videos. I'm recording them. When you do news, you do it all right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, all right, I'm going to go relax and I'll get that edited next Tuesday. You got to get it done right now, because you're trying to beat everybody else with the story.
So a couple funny comments. Amanda said, you must have run out of oil. Amanda, he never runs out of oil. He has a can of Crisco under his seat, just in case he needs to.
Listen, people, it's called sweat, and if you want to get some, I'll show you how it's done.
And Todd said
you gotta work.
Todd said we're welcome to share all the news on the Facebook group. I'll gladly step down. No, Todd, you are amazing at that, and you cannot do that. And Todd, just so that you understand what we're talking about, Eddie has a segment on our vlog on our page that talks about ship shape, and he works out every day, and he'll be recording while he's in his tank top, and he's all buff and glistening, and so everybody always teases him about being oiled up.
I'm sweating because I just got done kicking my own butt.
But it's very shiny.
But I'll tell you, it's under a minute. I come on, I give little tips and motivational little talks, try to get people moving. But anyways, let's go to the second question.
Second question.
I'm up.
All right. Yep.
If you started all over from day one with your channel, what would you change, if anything?
first video we did.
No, I'm not a thing. Not a
No.
thing. Like I said, we are taking this one day at a time. Everything is unfolded, and one thing leads to the other. And I am a person that believes in no regrets, no whatever. You know what? Take, opportunity knocks but once, and you either take it or you don't. And with each day that comes, something else. I don't know, other opportunities. Eddie, I think you said in another video. Like this is kind of too these are I think it was you, hopefully it was you. Like in doing our videos, there are also ways to like really, these are our VHS tapes of the time.
that was
Right?
them.
Our kids will always have these videos. So whether
Yes.
people watch, whether they don't, whether they subscribe, whether they don't, whether we make money, whether we don't, like
Yeah.
these is just all part, or this is just all part of our journey.
And when we're 70, and when we're 75, and we can look back and say, "Oh, I looked good then,"
and
I
our
didn't know
kids,
it.
they're not going to remember everything, right? But they are going to remember. They are going to be able to look back on our YouTube channel. Hopefully, like 8 tracks.
Yeah,
YouTube
well,
is still around.
I do
40
think of
years,
that
I don't know.
regularly. I'm like the technology that we're using right now, the video format.
It won't be
whatever,
a hologram YouTube, so
like,
nobody's going to watch it
is
anymore.
somebody going to be able to watch this years down the road when YouTube gets bought out by somebody else or something? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, it is something crazy to think about it, because I thought about it too. What happens if something happens to YouTube? You lose it all, But I'm not an end of the world prepper, so I'm too lazy to pack everything up, so I'll never do that.
The one thing that I've learned from the big channels, and not just cruise channels, but just YouTube vloggers in general, they will always tell you, don't be so hard on yourself and don't critique everything that you do. Just be yourself and be natural and throw it out there, and the right people are going to find you.
Yeah,
and
you said that earlier. You said you be you, and I totally agree with that. Like, don't try to do what everybody else is doing. If you're comfortable and you're happy and you're doing what you love, you're not doing work. I mean, we are doing this by accident, and we're loving it and still doing it because we're loving it even more the more we learn. So
that's regrets. I don't have a regret about anything, but I learned before we started doing this to stop pursuing perfection and being so critical of myself. Otherwise, I couldn't do this, right? I play guitar, and for years, I would never record anything because if I made the slightest mistake at all, I'm talking something you wouldn't hear unless you're another guitar player listening close. It wasn't good enough for me. It had to be perfect. It had to sound like a studio recording, or it did not. I deleted it and I started over. It would take me.
This happens with the videos we post now. I mean, I have imperfections in every video, and I know it, and I go, ugh, and it gets me. But at the same time, we've come to accept done is better than perfect.
Well,
sometimes
exactly.
Done is better than perfect.
And listen, I could never have put as many videos out if I was trying to go for perfection, because I and hum and stutter in every single one of them.
He'll always send it to me, and he'll be like, I'm going to redo this. And I think I've been good for him because I'm not a perfectionist. So I think in that way I've been good for him, because I'm like, no, listen, like we're flawed people. Okay, we're silly, we're goofy, we're flawed. That's who we are. So let's just be us. And if you're perfect, then you're going to be annoying.
But hey,
nobody likes a perfect person.
Before we go to 3, I want to send a word out to Thomas, the Lido Deck, because he said something yesterday in the live we're in, Have Luggage Will Travel, and he said that he's a perfectionist, and he can't let go of that, and it's basically that is a mindset that stops you from really achieving, because no one is perfect. Nobody is perfect. And if you're trying to be perfect, you're trying to do the impossible, because nobody's perfect. So to my buddy Thomas, put the flawed stuff out there, buddy. We're all flawed.
A decent musician is a perfectionist. That's true, though.
Yeah. Well, you are. But you know what? I started doing ad-lib, improvised guitar solos over like R&B stuff. And my kids encouraged me to do it on TikTok. So I did that like last year, and I recorded about about 3 dozen videos of just me playing guitar over stuff for 60 seconds on TikTok, and everybody loved it. And then
was so good.
people that never knew I played guitar because I've been doing it for over 30 years. My kids were sharing it on Facebook, and all our friends and family, coworkers I work with over 20 years are like, bro, you jam, you rock, you know, and it's funny. And it's all completely improvised where, you know, I've been playing for a long time, you know, so I know, okay, this is an A minor, and I'll play an A minor over it. So I do use music theory, but it's all like just improvised. So once I start doing that and realize that, you know,
he would play over, he would have a song playing, and then if it didn't have a lot of guitar, he would play with it, and it would be completely improvised, like imperfect. And that helped him a ton over that perfectionist thing.
Just recording it, you know?
Yeah, and he would be like, oh, wait, I screwed up right there. I should delete that. I go, dude, I will kill you. That is amazing. Do not delete that. It's
but
so good.
what it did, though, is like I can sit there and play songs note for note, you know, and play. That's boring. I like to add music to stuff that doesn't have guitar. And I'm like, you know what Janet Jackson needs right here? She needs some heavy guitar licks right here. I'm going to help her out because she didn't even know she needed this back in '93 when she was in the studio. But I'm here today to solve her problem. You're welcome, Miss Jackson. So I'll go and I'll just
see what her career could have been if she only had you.
And I'll do that.
Exactly.
And but once I start doing that and people are like, hey, that's awesome, then it made me get over that. So and then also I had a home inspection business briefly for about 2 years. The plan was early retirement down in Florida, collect my pension from here, and then do that down there so we could be close to cruise ports. My mom was on board, and then my mom decided she wasn't on board. Then we decided moving to Florida probably wasn't going to work. And then the home inspection business went crazy because I made friends with a lot of realtors that kept giving me clients, and I couldn't keep up on it. And it was supposed to be just 1 or 2 a week. I had these jokers calling me when I was on vacation. Eddie, when you get back to town, I got 2 lined up for you. And the other one, I got 2 lined up for you. I was doing like 4 in a week. And it just got to be overwhelming. But I had one of the reasons why they liked me so much is I had this software that was really super expensive that the inspectors in my area would not pay for. But it included video footage. So every time I found a defect, I would have to do, the stupid, hey, how you doing? We got a defect over here. So I had to do all these little videos. And I got so used to seeing my dumb ass on video. I'm like, so it got me over it.
Yeah,
so,
it's hard to get used to your own voice. Most people don't like to hear their own voice on video.
Oh, I sound terrible.
That's another thing you got to get over.
It.
Imperfect. Get over. Wow, do I really look like that? Yeah, I do. Okay. Your voice, like everything, like all those little things that we nitpick at ourselves.
Yeah, I'm in a crawl space. We're in a space suit, covered in bat poop and spider webs and. We have a leak under here, and but anyways, they got me over by being afraid of being on camera. So when we started vlogging, I'm like, yeah, I know I'm an idiot, so it's cool. And I just kept recording. So, and that's what you got to do. And there's a channel called Think Media. Think Media is something everybody needs to be subscribed to because that dude has all kinds of great information. He shows videos he did when he's like 13 years old. And
his first video was hilarious. And when you go back, and I love that he shows it. He's like, can you believe this was my first video? And blows me away. So,
all right.
Question number 3,
man.
Yeah.
Question number 3. What is the craziest thing you've ever seen on a cruise?
Hands down, this is easy.
Hold on. Before you continue, are there any children in the room?
No.
Our children are grown.
Like I said, when I filmed, I turn on my camera because when you get in that vlogging mindset, it's like, I got to record this. I got to document this. This was our April cruise. We were on the Carnival Magic, who's been in the news a lot lately. And the boys wanted to go to the kids club, play some video games.
But they're going to be on. But I'm sure it'll be fine for you guys in a week. You'll be fine.
Oh, you're okay.
I love the Magic. The Magic is one of my favorite ships. It's a great ship. But anyway, so the boys want to go to the kids club. Katie gets up there. She starts crying. She doesn't want to go. So, okay, we're going to take her. It's kind of a rainy, dreary day. We weren't ready to get off yet. Was that Amber Cove? I think?
We were in Amber Cove. Yes, we were in Amber
Cove. We go back towards the back of the ship. And as we're walking towards the hot tub, me, Brian, and Katie, our 7-year-old daughter, we get, and everybody kind of is like, there's a something going on. Commotion. Thank you. That's the word. Commotion. What's going on? And I look up, and it's like you do like a triple take, not a double take, and there's an older gentleman, on his balcony, and the balcony has the railing and then the clear window.
Well,
And
hold on. You're talking. So the NCL Escape is parked next to us.
oh yeah, thank you.
So we're looking from the Magic
On the back of the ship
across to the Escape.
Okay.
and this gentleman is on his balcony on the Escape, with his pants down around his ankles,
Nice.
and he was clearly looking. My interpretation was he was looking for an audience, and he was doing very inappropriate things to himself.
He was enjoying himself.
Hmm.
And there, so everybody. So now, like at first, I'm like, get Katie away. So Brian whisks Katie around the corner. So Katie,
Were people cheering him on?
They were not cheering. So I think everybody was.
There was
First of all,
yelling.
everybody was in shock. Like everybody's in shock. We're going, what is going on here? So the first thing I say to the bar, because it was, I guess, the back or whatever, and the people were like around the side of the bar, and it's still like early, so it's it's not like a big bar time, but there were still people around.
But it was raining, so everybody was sitting there.
And I see this.
He's doing it in the rain.
I'm like,
Oh,
does this
yes.
happen often? Like, is this something that happens? Like, I've never seen this before, and I've cruised my entire life, but like, is this something you see often? And he's like, it's a first for me. He's like, we do not see this.
Yeah.
So there's about 3 other people there's probably about 10 people around. 3 of them have their phones out. Some of them are laughing. Some of them are disgusted. It was the gamut. Like it was a whole spectrum.
that's bananas.
There are
that was
some-
the craziest thing. that was
not from us. You started recording like a vlog style of what was happening. But you didn't record.
I
him.
didn't want.
But there were other
record
people.
the actual content.
I
There were
actually
people that
think,
did.
I don't know, somebody, I swear to you, I saw either a picture, but they didn't show what he was actually doing, but they showed the guy. Somebody posted something on YouTube about that guy. I swear to God.
Yep.
I've seen it.
There were a few Facebook posts about it. We saw it when we got home. Yep.
I
Yeah.
myself sitting there talking about it. I did flip around. You couldn't see him, and I was glad you couldn't see him, and you couldn't see his face because obviously I don't need to.
Well,
Whatever.
that's what he wants you to see him.
Yeah, exactly. And then I went over and we posted another quick one where I just sat on the side and I said, okay, so what we just saw. We always want to remain. We are a family-friendly channel, so.
Hey,
No matter
see,
what,
yeah.
we don't want to turn anybody off to our channel, especially with who might be watching with their kids. So I was so cryptic. I didn't mean to be this cryptic, but so cryptic in the fact that I had friends text me being like, "What the heck were you talking about?
Yeah.
What was he doing?" I was like, well, I thought I was at least
That- there's all kinds of people in this world. But hey, real quick, before we continue on, everybody that are content creators do hashtag creator so that everybody can subscribe to everybody.
Yes.
Make sure you subscribe to How We Cruise. They're amazing. If you could take a second and do that real quick, and then come back and do hashtag creator, everybody will subscribe to you, and Eddie and I will go in. I think we're subscribed to everybody in here.
Yeah, we've been watching the chat kind of scroll by here, and I'm seeing.
Yeah, there's
all
some.
familiar
We got some new.
faces, all-
We got
all
a
names
lot of
and-
familiar, but we got a couple new people in here, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
The
Welcome to the
craziest thing that I have never seen anything really, really crazy, but the craziest thing that I saw was on, I think it was on the Panorama. I can't remember, but Eddie we were in like the Ocean Plaza area, and Eddie walked up to Alchemy to get us a drink. And there was this lady that was trying to hit on him so bad. And I was watching the whole thing, and I thought it was so hilarious. She was like, she had on
Eddie,
this
were you
dress,
listening at the
and
time?
I was no, he a little bit. He always listens at least a little bit.
No.
But she was sitting in this chair at the bar, and
I was
like
minding my own
he was
business.
standing there like waiting for. He didn't know any. He was completely oblivious.
She showed me pictures.
I took pictures because I thought it was so funny. Like I was watching her like move her dress over so she could show more leg. She was like turning it over. I was going chicken, getting pictures of all the poses that she was just trying so hard to get his attention. And I thought I was sending the pictures home to our kids. I'm like, look at this chick trying to hit on your dad. I thought it was so funny. And he didn't have a clue.
No.
And I love him for that.
And
He had no idea.
I'm at the bar getting her drink.
Yeah.
Because I don't drink that swill from
Yeah.
Alchemy.
Yeah.
I don't do those
He
cocktails.
he was getting me a martini.
I'm lying though. I do partake in some of those martinis,
He does.
but then I lose track.
But if you
Who I
guys
am.
listen, she was tossing the hair. She was, putting the leg out, like
And of course,
trying
Laura,
so hard. And I'm all
Laura's
taking
got pictures of it, post them on her personal Facebook
I thought
page.
it was so funny. I go, look, y'all, this chick trying to get my husband's attention. And everybody was dying laughing. I felt bad for her because
She should
he
feel bad for
didn't-
me
he
because she
didn't-
embarrassed me. 'Cause
he didn't notice at all.
No,
he didn't notice
that's
at all.
so silly.
It was really cute. It was kind of cute.
All right.
You go over and take your drink from Eddie and be like, "Thank you, honey."
No, you know what? He didn't. She was embarrassed enough that she couldn't get his attention. So I thought I'd leave it. I'd be nice and leave it be.
See, you
Always
totally
taking
could
the high
have
road.
used.
Always
See,
taking the high road.
you totally could have used that opportunity to go for like a not fake. What am I saying? Like a pretend
Yeah,
pineapple
yeah,
situation. Be like, hey,
yeah.
oh, so you're interested in my
Oh, I
husband.
should have. Oh, missed opportunity. But I did kind of feel bad for her though, because she's trying so hard. Little guy was trying so hard.
But then there was
She
a guy.
just-
There's a guy with her later. She did all right.
She did all right. I mean, she
She did good.
found love on the ocean. That's all that matters. It was a happy ending.
Yeah, I don't know if she was looking at me. So.
I had a lady that was blasted hitting on me at Mardi Gras with Amanda sitting right beside me at the bar. Amanda found it to be very. See, Amanda, that's we're self confident because I was not threatened at all. I know my husband loves me. I wasn't worried about it. I actually felt a little bit sorry
she
for
made
her.
a joke about
I
it.
thought
About
it was
my
funny.
expense
Yeah.
while I'm getting her filthy, dirty martini,
Yeah.
her Chipotle,
Yeah,
spicy Chipotle, whatever.
it was really it was adorable. But
All right,
all right, we ready?
number 4, favorite
Oh.
ship and port.
Josh, he's the one that's
Alright, it's all
sticking to
you.
the schedule tonight. Josh, you hear that? I'm
Yeah.
talking. He's sticking to the schedule.
We have a schedule.
Yeah, Josh always teases me that I'm always like, all right, next question. But it's Eddie tonight.
Look how you wear your hat. Her hat's all down like this. She's like,
Well, I mean, I can't help it. I
All right.
I have a lot of hair.
and then how that make you feel,
How did
Brian?
that make you feel, Brian?
Yeah. There you go. Show your there. You.
No, because my hair does that.
Oh, you
All
guys
right,
look good.
favorite ship and port.
Ship and port.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we were kind of trying to talk about this the other day, actually, and it goes back to having different favorite ships for what you're trying to do. And I tell you, our last cruise was that Oasis of the Seas cruise that was supposed to be 2 years ago, that turned from 7 of us going into 35 of us going.
Wow.
And I tell you, that was just fun. The
was
kids
a lot of
the
fun.
kids were playing together. They were going with their friends or their cousins, or hey, 2 people want to do this or 4 people want to do this, and hey, you take the kids tonight because we're going to go to the casino, and just the whole situation with stuff for everybody to do. I think currently, and I still have a lot of ships to go on because I won't stop until I've been on them all. But as of today, I would say Oasis is probably my favorite ship at this
Well,
time.
I'm not going to talk about ports yet. I'll real quick. I'll talk about ships. So Brian gave me a hard time because he's like, "What do you mean? You can't just not have a favorite. Like you have to have a favorite." And I always say the same thing. It's because like, what do you like? So since this is a pros and cons type of conversation, can I talk about the ship that I didn't like?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did have a ship.
I have a ship that I don't like, and everybody I think is going to be surprised. I did not like the Pride of America.
I like it.
Really?
Pride of America is the ship that goes around Hawaii and
I
it
like
sails in Hawaii. We did that
That
12
was our
years
hun-
ago.
that
It
was
was
our
a honeymoon
honeymoon. That was
cruise.
our
We did
honeymoon
some time
cruise.
out in Hawaii and then we did the cruise. I actually did an internship out in Hawaii. So like it was less than a year, but I lived there for a few months and had a great time and absolutely loved just the culture there and everything. So could not wait to go back. And was super, super excited since we love cruising so much to do the Pride of America. The reason it's not on my top list is because the ship sails in American waters the entire time, so there's no casino. No, we're not big gamblers at all. We're not. But
Yeah.
we were on a cruise with no kid. Before we had kids, like we would have liked to have frequented it.
Yeah.
Everything, because it went from island to island. It was at port every single night, and single thing shut down between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock at night. Everything, like there was no shows, there was no bars, there was no restaurants, nothing was open past 9 o'clock at night. They expect you to kind of. Granted, we're going back 12 years ago now. I don't know if anything's changed. I don't know if it's different. But like there was zero nightlife on the ship. You had to get off the ship, and if you got off the ship, it was wherever you were going to go. And it just seemed like a very different type of cruise than I was used to, where there's just.
I'm really happy that you are giving us that information, because we are cruising to Hawaii in January of 2024, and we were booked on Pride of America, but we changed it.
Really?
So what are we doing now?
I think we're on the Carnival Miracle. We're doing a 15-day on Carnival. So that way you end up with 5 sea days there, 5 4 days, 5 sea days back.
I love sea days.
I love
I
sea
really
days.
do too.
So hey, Eddie Lugo, I love sea days. So I decided, instead of flying all the way to Hawaii, I'm like, let's just do the longer cruise.
Well, we were going to do the
I think
short
it's a
cruise.
great choice. And like I said, I don't want to knock the Pride of America. I know that people have gone and had a fantastic time. We did
Yeah.
get the volcano. It was active at the time, so we did get to see lava. We did have a balcony.
Now it was your least favorite ship, but I would say that was also my most favorite excursions.
We had awesome excursions. It was a great trip. It was, but that ship and the experience itself just wasn't what I was.
Julie, we
over the active volcano, snorkeling in the crater, the brewery in Hilo.
It was our honeymoon, so we went a little crazy. I mean, we were doing everything we wanted to do.
It's Hawaii. Hello.
Well, we've heard the same thing about the Pride of America.
Yeah, we have heard that
from some of the big channels and from small channels. It's not the most desirable ship the way it's ran, and especially since COVID, it's been understaffed and everything shuts down. Like you said, EECC was on it, and Jason was going on about he wasn't very happy with the ship, and they were just on there. I think in June for their 25th anniversary, they went there. Yeah,
that ship was where we met our first cruise friends, though.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, well, we met our first.
We're
cruise
still in
friends.
touch.
Their kids. Yeah, they got married on the same day we did. They chose that ship for their honeymoon, and they were also from New Jersey, and we discovered that when the Martini bar was closing at like 9 o'clock at night or something like that, and we heard from across the room, "Are you kidding me?" And we're like, "That's from Jersey. That's definitely a Jersey."
We connected from across the bar on the Pride of America. We still stay in touch today. We have kids that are the same age. They live with less than an hour from us.
That's awesome.
What do we have to do to get Andy and Vanessa on?
Probably schedule a group cruise
on June cruise. So anyway, sorry. Good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we'd like to meet them. They sound awesome.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
They belong here.
This is a very, very deep one. What do you want your kids to remember most about your travels?
Man, here comes the tears.
Yes, because it's emotional. I mean,
look at them go.
Well, we already talked about how like these vlogs become our home videos, right? We kind of mentioned that. So our home videos. I mean, I remember. How much do you remember from growing up, and what memories do I have from growing up? We all have these snippets and pieces, and I think that we make them into what we remember. But personally, the reason that I want to take our kids cruising, and I love a cruise vacation, and Eddie, you said this earlier, is they get to experience different parts of the world. They get to see different cultures. I want them to get out of their comfort zone, out of their backyard. I want them to know what it's like to see different lifestyles, a different way of living. Experience different food. You know what? Sorry, hon, they don't have chicken nuggets here. So what are you going to eat?
Yeah.
I want them to try new things. I love that on a cruise ship. Like if they're not, Kevin tried alligator bites. Yeah. When would he have had an opportunity to try alligator bites? And would he have ordered them if we were just in any restaurant and had to pay for them, and they weren't part of like the whatever. So instead, we ordered a sample, and everybody shared them, and everybody got to taste them. So there's so many ways. So what I want my kids to take away from these cruises is culture, experience, different people, different worlds, and there is so much to this world besides your backyard. Get out of your hometown and experience it.
There was nothing better than taking the kids on that tour in Roatan, and instead of going on to all the buses, we just walked right out of the gate, out of gate 1 there, and all the tour operators are all lined up there, and all 3 of the kids are like, "What is this?" And it was just like, "This is, you ain't in Jersey anymore, kid." You know, this is how people live here.
Yeah.
And it's very eye-opening, and they actually made we went to some small little market, and they actually made friends with some little 8-year-old kid there. That was pretty cool. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They got to buy their souvenir from him, and they got to whatever. So yeah, experiences, getting out, seeing the world, and trying new things. I think is important.
They'll never forget it. I think one of the things for me is I always, if something ever happens to me, I always want Eddie to remember all the fun that we had together. And then I want our kids to remember how much we love each other and how much fun we always had, no matter what.
Todd's from Jersey too. Jersey's taking over your chat. We're just gonna.
Oh, here we go. Jersey.
Oh, is Todd's from Jersey too? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to be drinking beer with Todd here in a few days.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get to the scripted question, there's one that I think is a good question, and a lot of people I know that are your guys' age and a little younger that still have, all their kids are at home, none of them are grown yet, and they talk about going on cruises, and they're concerned about, man, that'd be complicated, taking the kids and all that, and you guys set a good example for all these other families that you guys are living it and proving that you can go and take all your kids of various ages. What's your youngest?
7.
Yeah.
7, 8,
7
11.
up to 12. Is that
Yeah.
yeah?
He's
11 and a half, almost 12.
So, and you take those kids and you have a blast with them. We know it's not easy, but I was joking around today in a reel, and I said we want to find out the witchcraft you guys are using to make that happen, because we're getting ready on our Bermuda cruise this weekend. Benadryl. We're taking the 15-year-old and the 22-year-old, and we're sitting there going, we gotta make sure they pack enough underwear and they pack. You know what I mean? It's like they're 15 and 22, and we're still doing that. So we can't imagine where they're young, where they depend on everything, and you guys packing them and carrying all their bags and doing all that stuff. So what's your secret? How do you guys make it work?
Alcohol? No.
Why not? That's how you cope with it, Brian.
I don't doubt that at all.
That's coping, and I'm out of coping fluid right now. Yeah,
That's part of our motivation in our vlogs and what we
alcohol?
do.
Oh.
No, part of our motivation in when we do vlog is, I think, like, every single time we pull out the camera and I try to get, or we try to get, you get a lot, we both get it. We think about everything that we looked up before we went on a cruise, when we were showing our kids. Like, YouTube is the search, number 2 search engine in the world, right?
Yeah.
People look at YouTube to find out how to do what they do. And when I'm vlogging, I'm trying to think of, I want to show people exactly what we're experiencing, so that way they can see with their own eyes, because I'm a visual person. When I see it, I go, okay, I know what to expect there. May not go the same way, but I know what to expect.
Oh, cruising with kids.
It is not easy.
It's ugly. It's dirty. It's sticky. It's cranky. It's tired.
Bloody noses. It's meltdowns. It's neighbors knocking on your door at 9:30 at night. We're not going to talk about that.
Have you done any vlogs that are to potential cruisers, cruising with kids? Anything that talks about best tips for cruising with kids? Like, listen, that is a market y'all need to tap.
we kind of started it as like a separate vlog, but everything's it's kind of all in everything that we do right now.
We're less than a year old, right?
Yeah.
So everything that we've done is less than a year. We're coming up soon on our year, but everything has evolved so quickly and so rapidly. Our vlog style, if you see, is taking us to the day. And as we're getting more ingrained in everything that we're doing and realizing what people want and whatever, we see the value in pulling out those snippets. So I've been trying to do that, and I feel like we have such an abundant amount of content to put out.
Our number one video is Kevin showing around the Adventure Ocean.
So like we need to organize it, and we have all these ideas. We have lists galore. We have so much.
Well, you know, in between cruises, when the content runs a little dry, tips are great to keep your channel active. And I'm telling you guys, that would be.
We welcome the questions. We welcome the questions on YouTube. We welcome the questions on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh yeah, this terrible voice has recorded a few of them. They just haven't made it onto YouTube yet.
You need to do that.
They're in the editing queue.
Hey, listen, on the magic, Todd, be ready. I'm going to be like vlogging a large majority. Eddie's going to be doing all the crazy stuff, and I'm going to be making fun of him vlogging. Like, this is my cruise. So I haven't done a lot of that before because I've always been working, but I am completely disconnected on this trip, and I'm going to be doing a ton of vlogging on this. So I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone on this one for sure.
It's funny when you get over that little hump too of like just not feeling kind of weird at all about turning around and, you know, talking and like vlogging and reporting, and, you know, people are walking by you and you're like,
hey, in the 80s, we wouldn't even pose. We wouldn't hold still for a picture for our parents with the old Polaroid camera. We're like, no, man, get out of here with that, you know? And you got your kids, they're in there, you know, doing Guy's Burger taste tests and reviews and stuff. So, I mean, it's amazing how your whole family is. They're all in on it. And then your daughter in one of your vlogs, she was kind of having a little bit of a moment because she couldn't ride on, I think, both.
Yeah,
she was too small.
So bad for her.
It was so bad. Cool. It was so cool how you handled that, Julie. You handled it. You didn't let that derail your footage. You didn't let that, and you showed real life, and that's authentic.
That is why people are going to love you, because that's a moment that, I mean, honestly, that's a moment that we all have, and you didn't hide that moment, and that was such a true.
I'm watching the battery on our webcam about to die.
Are you guys getting low? All right.
So I'll say
all right.
There we go.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Whoa.
As a parent, we tread a very careful line too. I mean, obviously, whatever we put out there, it's out there forever. And once you put it out there, you can't take it back. We don't want to embarrass any of our kids. We don't want them to look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 24 years from now, or 5 minutes from now and go, oh my God, I can't believe. I mean, I know at some point they're gonna be like, I can't believe you have those videos of us, mom and dad. But like, we really try to, when we say that we edit, we do try to edit in the most positive light while still bringing the real moments that happen in a family, because kids do melt down. Kids
oh yeah.
Gosh, our grown kids melted down a couple of times.
Julie, if you're not being authentic and not being yourself, then the whole idea of saving memories for your future self to look back on, or your kids to look back on, if you're all fake, they're going to say, hey, remember how Dad was acting all fake when he had his YouTube channel? Who wants to be that guy? You know, so it's like,
that's not what Dad did. He totally yelled at us.
Dad always yelled at us.
Yeah, Dad was mean. He drank and yelled at us when he was crying.
Do you remember that 70s show, Red, on that 70s show? That was my dad. That was my dad. I swear to God, that was absolutely my dad growing up. He reminds me so much of.
All right, I got the next one. I'm going to do it.
Yep.
Okay, you guys have recently entered the fray. You threw your hat in the ring as travel agents, correct?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
This is your chance to shine. Sell us. Why should people book their vacations with you guys?
Seeing as it's mostly travel agents in the chat.
No, I don't think so. Okay, so the whole point in us diving into the travel agent world was because we were talking to our friends and our family so much about cruising. Like you mentioned before, our last cruise just blossomed into this beautiful group cruise that we weren't intending it to be. And we love talking about cruising. We love talking about travel. Even beyond cruising, I mean, you know, we love talking about, you know, what we did when our flight got delayed. We realized that it was encompassing so much of who we are and what we do just in our everyday lives, at
Yeah.
work, talking to our coworkers, talking to our friends, that we were like, why don't we try to help people?
Well,
we want to help our friends book rather than just tell them what to do, because they're just calling us on the phone anyway and saying, how and what
Yeah.
do I do? So we said, well, why don't we actually be able to help them and be able to, like, you know, kind of dive in a little bit deeper into some of the searches and things when we want to do things. So we absolutely loved taking that step forward.
It helps us out. It gives us, I mean, we're a little type A. So we
Yeah, if you haven't noticed,
we're kind of like having control of stuff, and you know, it helps us do that. It helps us have a little bit more.
Can I say, even before we got on this, I said one of the weirdest things about us doing this is we don't have control over this like you guys do, which is weird for us. So we're very type A. But no,
you guys are in bad shape because we barely have control of ourselves.
Listen, I'm pointing at him. I point at him. I'm pointing at him jokingly. I am type A as well.
Yeah, we both are.
We both are, yeah.
Yeah. So why should people book through us or want to join us or do anything with us? Because we are completely and truly who we are. What you see is what you get. We are authentic. We share everything on our blog, and we will give you every tip that we know. And if we don't have the answer, we will find it, or we will find somebody else who does. We work with an amazing team. We're working with an agency who is absolutely fantastic, who we truly connected with because they are awesome and have the same values.
Now,
that we
are
do.
you specializing in cruises, or do you do all travel?
Primarily cruises right now, just because we're just starting. We both have
what we know.
jobs. It's what
Bye,
we
Todd. Thank you for coming.
Hey, see you, buddy.
See you, Todd. But for us, we're like the travel anomaly kind of thing. Like, we have 3 kids, not 2, so we're always traveling as 5. So we find ourselves in weird hotel and cruise room situations.
For those of you who don't know, that that odd number creates such a difficult situation in everything that you do.
Yeah.
So we really have learned a lot of tricks of the trade and to how to deal with that. It's really, really difficult having a third.
Yeah, just different things
like
about
the odd number.
Soda packages and drink packages and room variations. And
so many cabins are only 4 people room, and then you try to explain that to people, and people don't understand. They don't understand that. Well, why can't we just bring them and put them in our room or cabin? It's like, because that cabin is designated as a 4-person. You can't.
A lot of the cabins are designated for 3. You can't even get 4 in some of them. It's only 3. We run into that problem sometimes.
Well, I mean, we've done search. I mean, we scroll a lot, and we see people say, "Oh, I got this great deal on this cruise," and I'm like, "Oh, well, let me see what we can do here." And I go look it up, and I put the fact that we have the 3 kids so traveling as 5, and it's like no availability. The cruise doesn't exist. And I'm like,
yeah.
But then you go, "Oh, well, we'll bring the babysitter, so we're 6 now, and we'll book 3 rooms of 2, and now all of a sudden there's
sometimes you can get cheaper.
It's cheaper. We were actually looking at different. We have a lot of different family situations for our group cruise in June, so we were trying to find the right situation for everybody as far as rooms and all that. And some people are saying, "Oh, well, if we could put this one with grandma or this close together or whatever," and we're finding that just the availability is so different. And we actually have some people that we're booking separately in separate rooms because they're actually getting it cheaper to get 2 rooms or 3 rooms than to book 1 room altogether.
Yeah.
So, some people don't have to experience that, and just we've been down this road so many times. We check that stuff.
Well, that gives you guys. You do have a special insight there as travel agents with that experience, because most people aren't doing that. They're not booking for 5. And we've traveled with 5 to Savannah. We did a road trip last June, and we had 2 of our sons, the ones that are going with us to Bermuda, and my mom. And so a lot of times we end up with those 2 guys and my mom, and that's 5. And it does get really tricky.
Oh, I got to tell you guys the funniest story about driving to Savannah. So we're Eddie and I are in the front seat, and his mom and his 2 sons are in the back seat. And they're complaining about how hot it is. They're like, we're just burning up. Like, it's burning up back here. And we're like, we got the air on. It's like, it's not that hot. We couldn't figure out hours. They're like, man, I'm like, I'm burning up. Our 15-year-old was sitting in the middle, hit the heaters for the seats.
The heated seats.
They were sitting there roasting their butts. For hours.
5 minutes at
Yeah,
least. They
it
were
was
burning
so
up.
funny.
That
It
kid,
was so funny.
he was
The number
14.
of times
Long
in a
legs
single
were
road
turning.
trip. Kids don't touch that.
Rob and Guga have these hats. Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. That's it. We have crew too.
We have crew. Rob and
Yeah.
Guga, do you guys have the crew ones too?
Yeah, we got crew ones for our crew. We're crew runs. All right. So,
Last question.
Yep.
Tell us about your group cruise.
So it was so nice. We had to do it twice.
Yeah.
So, like I said, so this whole adventure started with, hey, let's get the kids a cruise for Christmas, and
Yeah.
feed it to them, and then have it canceled by a pandemic. So, as that grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, we ended up with 35 people on that trip. So, we kind of accidentally did a group cruise last year, and the whole time we're on that cruise, that whole group is saying to us, hey, when are we going again? When are we going again? When are we going again? And we're like, well, whenever you want. Like,
So
we're not your travel agents, but apparently now we are. So
So now we are. So the
That's
group
awesome.
cruise is this June. It is the same cruise that we just did this past June. Same itinerary, same ship, out of the same.
Remind us what the itinerary is. I forgot already.
So we are leaving out of Bayonne, New Jersey, which is just across the river from Pier 88, New York, where you guys are going to be leaving on the Magic. So that's Royal Caribbean and Celebrities Port there. Carnival and Norwegian go out of the New York side. Royal Caribbean and Celebrity go out of New Jersey side. It's actually a nice, easy port to drive into. But then we're leaving there, we head down to
We have a sea day.
and then it goes down to Port Canaveral, Florida, which we kind of discovered on the last cruise is really just their opportunity to restock all their supplies.
It's a great port. I mean, you're at Cocoa Beach, so you can do a beach day at Cocoa Beach. You can go to Ron John's. You can go to the Kennedy Space Museum. That's a really great excursion.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I don't advise going to Disney, SeaWorld, Epcot, Universal.
It's
You don't
not
have
enough time. Yeah.
You're never wasting your money at Disney, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, you don't have enough time to actually
Yeah.
enjoy that kind of experience. So
Yeah.
extend your trip another way, do it a different way, but whatever. So, but there is a lot to do in Cocoa Beach. What we decided to do last time was just stay on the ship, and you can watch the whole vlog series. Obviously, I'm still working on the videos, but you'll be able to see the exact same itinerary, exact same trip.
Right.
So then you have another. No, you don't have another sea day.
Nassau.
Then you go to Nassau. Nassau was a great port. We went to Cabbage Beach, but there's all kinds of beaches to go to, all kinds of things to do. Then the next day you are at Coco Cay, which is one of our favorite places to go.
Yes.
It's a private
That's a
island,
great port.
so everything is included while you are, since it's a private island, everything. Your towels are there, your food is included. There's extra amenities that you can pay for and extra things you can do. But if you don't want to, you don't need to. If you have the drink package, it works on the island. So everything else. So that's a great place to go. And then 2 sea days.
Then they make a rocket run back to.
And we head back. We get back.
Love it. Great
hey,
itinerary.
did you guys give it a name?
Well, the name is. I mean, we initially were going to call it. So we had a couple different ideas. And we were thinking, like, do we do this every year, and do we just call it the annual?
We did want to do an annual thing. We've been talking about just doing an annual group cruise so people know what to expect. But I don't know. We have to still. If anybody has any ideas, feel free to message us.
What about how we group cruise?
How we
group cruise?
The pork roll cruise.
Yeah, you can do that too.
I like how we.
I like how we group cruise.
Or we could. Or Jersey Yell, the Jersey Yell cruise, or how's my South Jersey accent?
The Jersey, hello.
Hold on, I do need to clarify.
The NJNV cruise.
I do need to clarify. So where we're at is actually in the northern part of Jersey. So we are actually. My accent has kind of evolved over the years of being from northern New Jersey up by the New York state line, working a lot in Hudson County over where Bayonne is, and I'm working down in South Jersey, so I've adopted some of the Philly-esque portion there. But yeah, I want to say I give Julie a lot of credit for the name How We Cruise. She came up with it in an afternoon, and the reason she came up with it
Seagull Media likes I like How We Group Cruise.
There you go.
Well, the reason
listen.
that we chose How We Cruise is because I said, well, how do we cruise? We cruise with kids. We cruise with friends. We cruise with grandparents. We cruise local. We cruise far. We cruise the Caribbean. We cruise.
with all 20 people in the chat.
So yeah, so How We Cruise is how that name came about when we were under the gun and under the fire, having to come down.
Had 2 hours to come up with a media.
So How We Cruise.
Right.
And for everybody in the group chat,
How We Cruise with friends.
Yeah.
So maybe we just call this How We Cruise with Friends.
Yeah,
that's actually good.
That's good.
I like that.
I like it.
Just so everybody knows, it's in the chat still. We are booked on this cruise.
Yes, we are.
And Laura was asking because we can't remember.
I can't remember.
We have 15 cruises booked right now, so we just get.
I remember.
So confused.
I remember the family reunion group cruise. I remember that itinerary because it's ABC, and if you can't remember that, then you need to.
That's an awesome itinerary. That is fantastic.
You got yes. I really, man, you guys.
No,
But honestly, as far as group cruises go, guys, you go on a group cruise because you like the people that are throwing a group cruise.
Yes, and
so that's why we booked it.
Yeah.
We're going to be on Oasis of the Seas in December, and then we're going to be on Oasis of the Seas with you guys in June.
Yeah.
We're going to be on a celebration 3 times inside of 12 months because of group cruises with people that we like, including the family reunion.
Yep.
And we're doing another one. The group cruise, not a group cruise, in October.
Yep. And then,
but of course, we're doing the Celebrations Inaugural U.S. Cruise in November. So we'd be between November and of 22 and October 23. We'll be on that ship 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
And it's just one of those things. And we do think that part of the reason why we do this and got involved in this is we were hoping to make friends with people that like cruising like we do, because our friends all think we're in a petri dish at sea.
I don't have a single friend that enjoys cruising, honest to God. I mean, they're thinking about it, and I mean,
I get private messages from friends that ask about cruises and then ask about how they should start their workout plan. That's what I get, and it's usually the workout people they send me around December, January 1st. I'm ready to take control of my life. I'm going to start a new me. New year, new me, Eddie. What do I need to do? And I'm like, not this shit again. It's every year the same people. But the same people do the same thing with cruises. They'll come to me and they'll say, Eddie, man, you really love the cruising. I'm thinking about doing it. Well, what should I do? And I tell them all the same thing. Go to Cruise Shipmate, look up Huddle Adventure, no space in between, no S on the end. You can see all of our cruises. Pick any one of those and let me know which one you want to do. I'll help you book it, and you're going to pay extra for it because we pay extra for everything, and everybody thinks we get deals. And you can go with us. So that's I always invite them to
our
come along.
Thing too is, well, now that you're travel agents, don't you get everything for free? Like,
no. I have I do
for everything.
I do travel nurse recruiting, so a lot of my travel nurses like to cruise, and they're always asking me questions about it as well. So that's a lot. A lot of them have subscribed to us, but they don't like the lives for some reason. We got to figure that out.
See, and like what Julie was saying, we love vlogging. I'm having a ball doing this. This is fun for us. I absolutely love it. It's when I quit our home inspection business last October. I am like a real super high energy guy. I work 7 days a week, and I still manage to jam and shoehorn 8 days in a week doing things outside of work. I always stay busy, and I had the side business because I was going to, as soon as I retired, I was going to continue doing that business. When we moved down to Florida, I was telling Brian about this earlier today, and anyways, it just when I shut the business down, it opened up a bunch of time for me, free time. And we'd already started vlogging, and I was like, man, now I got all this extra time. It's like Step Brothers, look at all this room for activities. There's like I got so I really threw myself into this because I love doing it. Now I personally don't want to make it into some kind of business, because then I'm afraid it won't be fun anymore. That's the same way I play music. I play music for personal enjoyment. I don't want to be in bands or anything like that. I do it just for the love of it. And when you do things you love, it's not work. But if you are relying on that, if you're relying on that income, then that adds a stress element into the thing you love, and then it can.
Now that's just his opinion.
That's my opinion.
That doesn't mean that other people can't do it and still continue to love it. But for him, that would be difficult for him to balance that.
But I believe in putting your best effort in whatever you're doing. And really work hard. So you're
gonna do it right, and go all in. I mean,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So we are approaching that 2-hour mark. So we're gonna go ahead and wind down here. But just so that everybody knows, if you're interested in the itinerary that we just discussed, you want to go on Oasis of the Seas, let Howie Cruise know. They'll help get you booked on the group cruise. There's another great group cruise, the family reunion group cruise on the Celebration. It's going to the ABC Islands. Another amazing one. That one is in May 20th of 2023.
Yeah.
This one is
June 23rd.
23rd of 2023.
Any way we can make that one happen when we're there.
Hey, listen, you can book them both.
Yes,
we did.
Yeah, hang out with us. Contact Siobhan or Amanda for the family reunion group cruise. Howie Cruise for the Howie Cruise with Friends.
There's a lot of good suggestions for a title in the chat. We got Howie Group.
Yeah.
East Coast Cruise. The other one from last night was the How You Doing Cruise.
How you doing? Yeah.
That's really cute. I like that.
I'm from Jersey. You from Jersey? I'm from Jersey. You from Jersey?
Well, thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out. I think MGM is having their live right now.
I think they're an hour into it.
They're an hour into it.
I feel so terrible that our live encroaches on their live.
It's just going to be one of those things, guys, that we just can't hit everybody's lives.
Drop in, you drop out. We support each other. We're always jumping around. Thank you so much for having us, guys. We were really.
Oh yeah.
Well, we love you guys. We think you're amazing. Keep up all the great work, and we'll see you soon. Oh, just so everybody remembers, we're heading out on our cruise. We will have a live next week, but we don't know whenever we can get the internet to work. But it's probably not going to be at our scheduled time. But we will have some great content coming.
And there's KDP saying, fingers crossed she gets in. We have 2 of our adult children that are considering booking the family group cruise. Yep. And
their family reunion one. Yep. They like the ABC Islands.
Yeah. So
we'll see if we can't persuade them to try to come on both. So we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, it's they're young, just starting out, and it can be pretty expensive, on them when they're just starting out. We're old, over the hills, and All
right with that. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you soon.
We won't be, like she said, we're gonna do some lives, guys. We're gonna do some impromptu lives, probably live from New York. It's Saturday night. We're gonna be in New York.
Well, now we got to do that Saturday night.
It's in the plans.
All right, we're doing it.
I spilled the beans to 16 people.
Yeah.
But you look for us to do some impromptu lives next week, and then when we get back, we're gonna go back to having guests at the captain table.
Yep.
And
we got a special guest lined up for when we hit 10,000.
And it might take 10,000 years because
years to get
YouTube has got us throttled, man. We are. It's crazy.
Yeah,
we're not.
We go up and then we're down.
You go up in increments of 10 after you get over 1,000, and it'll be, we'll be up, to 9,920, and then it'll say 9,910, and then it'll say 9,000, because they're auditing and they're deleting bots and stuff. So the numbers are going down. We've had it happen probably about 4 or 5 times where we stalled for like 2-3 weeks where our channel just stopped growing altogether.
But that's okay. Persistence will get us there, and
alcohol.
Yep, and alcohol.
They hate me now.
So we're gonna have Parkers on the go very soon, and then
have luggage will travel.
Have luggage will travel. We gotta get them on.
Yeah.
And then we have a special guest to celebrate our 10,000. So all that coming. So everybody have a great week. Thank you so much for your support. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
See you on the seas.
Bye.